Hello, happy 4th of July. I missed basketball and now it's back. Let's make some lineups. Alright, so the first game of the day, Big X versus D2. So in this article, they're plugging CJ Jackson and Nick Ward. Now, let's look at their prices. So, CJ Jackson, he's 8,200 on DraftKings, 22 on Fanduel. Now, I think this price is pretty good for him. Let me explain this number. So this is their DraftKings price divided by their FanDuel price. Basically, anything over 9 is good for FanDuel, and anything under 8.5 is good for DraftKings. So by doing this, we can see some extreme good plays and bad plays. For example, Khalif Wyatt on FanDuel, he's 2, which means that his value on DraftKings 7,000 does not match up to his value on FanDuel, but I'll get to him later. So I went over CJ Jackson. I think his price is pretty decent, but there's no value there. He's a solid play. And my second guy, Nick Ward from Big X. Also Khalil Iverson. Both of these guys are much better plays on DraftKings than they are on FanDuel. On DraftKings, they're both 5,600. On FanDuel, they're 16 and 19. Much worse on FanDuel. Now, for the team they're playing, D2. So, the best player on D2, according to DraftKings and FanDuel, is Mike Davis. Now, I found some value plays that are very enticing. So if you're playing on FanDuel, I really like DeMario Mayfield. And if you're on DraftKings, Terrence Sullivan. Alright, next game, Brotherly Love versus Stillwater Stars. I believe that Michael Fink is out for is this the same game? Hold on. No, it's not. So, Markel Brown, I believe, is out for Stillwater. And, where's the second guy? Mike Cobbins is also out for Stillwater. This means that Stillwater, LeBron Nash, could be getting even more big minutes. Same with Tyshawn Taylor. Since Markel Brown is out, he's going to have to handle the ball more. I really like Tyshawn Taylor. He's going to have to carry the load today. Now, with betting odds, the odds are getting worse for Brotherly Love, which means Vegas projects Stillwater to lose big. So this game has the potential to be a blowout. I'd watch for that. And the last thing about Stillwater I want to cover is James Banks. If you're playing on FanDuel, I really like him as an option. Now to get into Brotherly Love, Khalif Wyatt. My man, I'm going to be playing him on FanDuel. $8. Look at that. I think this just tells the whole story. He's 7,200 on FanDuel. On DraftKings, 8 on FanDuel. If you're on FanDuel, play Khalif Wyatt. Now, Novar Gadsden. He's priced pretty evenly, but he also favors towards FanDuel. He's a big name player. You expect a lot of points out of him. Let's see if there's anyone else in Brotherly Love I like. Ramon Moore. On DraftKings, he's a good option. He is, I believe, their main guard. Let's see. Yeah, he might be their main guard. So, did I cover LeBron Nash? I'll cover him again. No, I don't think I did, actually. No, I did. Wow. Alright, next game. House of Pain versus War Tampa. Now, I believe this game is going to have the most actual basketball talent in this game. Now let's start with House of Pain first with Mike Dom. And I believe Mike Dom should be in everyone's lineup. Now, he's famous for being, I believe he's in the top 10 for NCAA all-time scoring. But I'm not 100% sure which spot he's in. He might be in like top 5, I'm not sure. But I remember he could shoot threes and he could score in the paint at an elite level. So Mike Dom is going to be a bucket getter tomorrow. I guarantee it. Another guy I like on pain, Billy Garrett Jr. is decent on DraftKings, but that wasn't who I was going to get to. Malcolm Hill, very good on Malcolm Hill is very good on DraftKings. On Fanduel, he's $21. On DraftKings, he's $6,000. But there's one other guy on DraftKings who is an absolute steal, and that's Andres Feliz. $19 on Fanduel, $4,700 on DraftKings. So, Andres Feliz and Malcolm Hill are two really good value plays if you want to put some high price players into your lineup and get the low guys, which I think you should do for tomorrow's slate. And they're playing War Tampa. So War Tampa has Bryce Brown. If you watched college basketball, he was killing it for Auburn. Now, he is the most expensive player on DraftKings, but on FanDuel, he's much less than everyone else. I think on FanDuel, he's an absolute lock. On DraftKings, you might have to think about it. Also on War Tampa, Fletcher McGee. If you watched him in college, he gets hot very easily. He's a very good three-point shooter, and if he gets hot, he can really help your lineup. I play him in tournaments. He's a GPP player. Next, the last game, CP3 versus primetime players. Now, CP3, Deontay Baldwin stands out to me a lot. On FanDuel, he's $22, but on DraftKings, he's $6,200. Very interesting. Also, Nate Mason, $23 on FanDuel, $5,800 on DraftKings. Again, very cheap. Now, for the primetime players, I believe that they were, there was another team supposed to play in this game, and then they got the coronavirus, so now the primetime players are playing in there. And I'm not really sure about the primetime players. However, if you need a cheap guy on FanDuel, you could look at Eric Mann. I don't know why he's $5,000 and $4,000 on DraftKings, but when there's usually a difference of around maybe 5 on towards the average, I think there might be an injury involved. So before you play anyone, just check if they're injured, check if there's any problems. Always check your lineups before lock. Now let's see. I'm not really sure who I'd play for the primetime players. I guess Sean Barnett looks pretty decent. I'd probably play him on DraftKings if I were to play him at all. I don't think I'd play anyone from this game. Alright, that's all I have for you. Good luck today. Hope you win some money.